found this cover of Love the Way You Lie, Eminem with Rihanna, which I absolutely love this song. State of Mind featuring Caitlin Curtis. I really like it. I prefer the Eminem version for his, obviously for the Eminem bit, because the guy can't rap as good as Eminem. But I prefer her vocal, and I prefer the music in this one. It's halfway through, so I'll let you hear a little tiny bit of it.
Now I know we said things that we didn't mean, and we fall back into the same patterns, same routines. But your tape was just as bad as mine is, the same as me. When it comes to love, you're just as blinded. Baby, please come back. It wasn't you, baby, it was me. Maybe our relationship isn't as crazy as it seems. Maybe that's what happens when a tornado meets a volcano. All I know is I love you too much to walk away. To come inside, pick up your bags off the sidewalk. Don't you sincerity in my voice when I talk? Don't you this is my fault? Look me in the eyeball. Next time a pistol ain't no milk at the drywall. Time there will be no next time. I apologize even though I know it's lies. I'm tired of the games. I just wanna back. I know I'm a liar. If the other tries to fucking leave again, I'm gonna tie it to the bed and set this house on fire. Just gonna
heard more of that than you wanted to, but yes, I do like that cover. I shall go, and I'm on my way in to pick up Isaac from school for his guitar lesson. Darren usually does this on a Monday to give me my head a holiday, but we had to, you know, the oil palaver, because it costs so much money. Basically, it normally costs about $280, $290. It went up to $6 something. We're like, it's not happening. We haven't had to use oil for heating for ages. When we did need it for heating, we had fires instead, but we've had to still use it to heat hot water. It was getting to the point of getting low. There was about 12 inches left in the bottom, and we had to buy it. I had no option, so money that I've been saving for spending money for Florida, I've had to use to get the oil. It's currently $420. Now, that's obviously £200 cheaper than it was 6 months ago, but it's still about £150 more expensive. Well, £140 more expensive than normal. So it's a big whack, you know what I mean? 420 quid, just like that. So we've had to get oil. Oil was put in the tank this morning. Darren went to put on the water heater. It's not working. The woman that we called said that we might have an airlock. If it's an airlock, we're going to have to charge you because you've let the tank get too low, he said, but they hadn't run out. There was 12 inches left in it because he was measuring it. And she said, well, it's a really simple fix, blah, blah, blah. Darren had a look at it, couldn't fix it. So the long story short, the engineer's having to come out because we've probably got an airlock, which means we'll have to pay for the call out, and I dread the fucking thing. So not only have we had to pay out the money for the oil, but we've also now going to have to pay a call out fee for an engineer to do something really simple. So that's fantastic. So that's basically everything I've sold in Vinted. All that money that I tried to make for Isaac to spend is now going to go on that. Brilliant. Life always has other ideas, doesn't it? Yeah, so that's what's happening today. So because I am an antisocial so-and-so and get really anxious about people coming to the house that I don't know, I don't want to be in the house on my own when an engineer comes. That's not because I think the engineer is up to anything untoward, don't get me wrong. I'm so uncomfortable with people coming to the house that I don't know that Darren's doing that while I go and get Isaac from school. We've got little mice in the garden. Now, we live in the countryside, we back onto a big field, so it's no surprise. So we discovered these little mice are living like on the other side of our fence, but they've been coming through to eat stuff I've put out for the birds. And I don't know, my darn had to fucking tell me. And a little mouse was making its way up the garden and a crow came and ate it. So I've been feeding, I've been buying specific stuff for the crows as well. And Darren says, well, you don't want to go out and see that. And I'm like, well, but he took the mouse away, so I'm not going to see that. Well, you wouldn't want to be out. And I'm like, oh, I wish you just hadn't told me that. That's fucking ruined my whole day, that. Poor little mouse. I know it's nature, and I know what happens, and people are probably saying, well, you don't want them in the house. You probably, you should be putting down mouse traps, etc. As long as they don't come near the house, as long as they're just outside. I mean, they've more right to be there than I do. It's the countryside, so it doesn't bother me in the slightest. But obviously if they got into the house, that's a different situation. But for a little baby, my tiny little cat, tiny little thing, so that's upsetting. Anyway, there's the fucking rain again. Me and Darren have had permanent headaches for like 2 weeks because the weather can't decide what it's doing. 1 minute it's pissing down, and the next minute the sun's out, and it's been like that since that spate of lovely weather where it's not as warm as Florida, it's not as lovely as Florida, don't get me wrong, but it's like nice pissing down. Like out of Florida, just rain comes out of nowhere. It's like that. I'm sure you're getting the same in England at the minute. But right, I shall go. I shall check in with you and let you know if this guy comes and restores the heating. I'm hoping, because we were having issues with it prior to getting the oil, but Darren says it's maybe because we'd let it run too low. I've sent him out with to find out how low it is. I think it's went lower than he's wanted to let on, to be honest. But we'll see. I just hope this guy fixes it today. But yeah, I shall catch up with you guys later. I put it on so you could see the miserable flipping weather. Look at it. Honestly. Well, if I put the window wipers on, you might actually be able to see it. But look at the sky. Honestly. What time is it? It's 3:05. So the school, I don't know why there's kids about the place, because unless that's primary school children, I suppose, they get out at 3 o'clock, don't they? Well, there's a woof, little duck. Let's see what type of dog it is. I have to always look and see what type of dog it is. That's a little staffy. Very nice. I like a little staffy. Listen to the window wipers. Right, I'm sure that's exciting, and enough excitement for you to be had for one day, eh? Hello, so I'm sat in town now waiting on Isaac coming out of his lesson. I have a question for you. There's probably no one of you that's going to may be able to help, which is Suze. But if you can, or you know a friend that can, ask them for me. So, I want a foundation for holiday. I bought one. Sorry, I'm trying to turn that down and it's not having it. By Laura Geller. Now, I wear a powder from Laura Geller, which is fantastic. It's got really good coverage if you don't need full. But as you get older, obviously wrinkles, especially like under eyes and stuff, powder's not a good thing. And I always have been a very matte foundation person, but as you get older, matte just not good. So I bought this Laura Geller one because it was 50 SPF. I don't want sunburn because I don't tan, there's no point. But it's just not nice, it just looks greasy on. And because I like the powder so much, I thought, well, this will be good. So I want a foundation. It doesn't have to be full coverage, but it needs to have a little bit of coverage. Preferably SPF, but not essential because I can put sun cream on first. But just something lightweight I can wear on holiday that's going to give me a little bit of coverage on, my face. I was in Boots and I couldn't get my mobile data to work. It wasn't having it. I went to the middle of the centre and it was working absolutely fine, but for some reason Boots, you can't get onto your phone, and I had a look and it kept coming up with one of the L'Oreal ones, but I've seen reviews of that and it's really bad. Listen to that rain, my head is banging. I have to go collect the big grocery shop after picking Isaac up and it's like, oh god. So I need a foundation that's not too heavy, that I can wear on holiday for older skin. Give me your recommendations if you have any. If you don't wear makeup, ask your wife, ask your friend that does wear makeup. My God, listen to that. So I bought this to try it because it was in the shop and it was cheap. It's 0 sugar. I wouldn't be drinking Lucozade if it wasn't. And it is grapefruity. I'm assuming it's grape flavoured. Grapefruity. Let's have a go at this and see what this is like. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Isaac will want to drink that whole thing. And I got a packet of these because they were 29p at the checkout. These should be £1.25. They are Nerds gummy clusters. I used to love, you know, the boxes of Nerds. Love them. Yes, I used to. Still love them. I just don't buy them. But it's like little Nerds in a little. Oh, they're lovely. Super tasty. This is good for the diet, isn't it? Any wonder I've had it. It's just permanently pissing it down. Isaac goes in his lesson for another 25 minutes. Even walking from there to the car, he's going to get fucking soaked. There's a space right outside the place, but I can't tell if there's anyone in it because there's a line of cars in front of me. So yeah, if you foundation, because I don't like to spend a lot of money on makeup, but one thing I do like to get that's decent is the foundation as I've got older, because I find that you can't get away with stuff you got away with when you were younger. So let me know. At the minute I've got a BB cream on, Tarte BB cream, and a little bit of powder over the top. But yeah, recommendations. I wish I was one of these people that could go makeup free, but I can't, because every time I don't wear makeup, the amount of people that tell me that I look tired or look ill, or oh, you've got a bit of sun about your face, don't you? Meaning you've a big red face at you. So yeah, recommendations gratefully received, folks. Right, I'll go and not bore you. I was editing video before I left the house the week before last. Monday is usually the day that I would get caught up with any sort of like YouTube stuff I need to do, but today I'm sat out doing this with a fucking headache. Fabulous. I sent Darren a text, has he been? And he hasn't replied, so I would assume that means he's there right now. So yeah, I'll catch up with you later. Right, I've come to show you my peonies. That's bread for the birds. Look at these. 5 of the fuckers. I cannot wait. I have only ever had one peony bloom on this. I might have to tie that up, do you think? I'm desperate not to fucking do anything to upset it, to be honest with you. Have to tie up this bowing a bit over here. Yeah, let's get that tied up. That thing when you put the car on and there's a song you really like on the radio. Yes, I like this song. Oh, my hair's getting done next Monday, thank God. How do we... That's it. We can't pause the radio, but we can mute it. The dogs are having a protest in the garden. They won't go back in because they realise we're going out. It is 4:25 on a Wednesday. I've just got back from soft play with Kira and Sophie, and we're just heading to the cinema. I don't know if that's a sensible idea. I'll tell you why in a minute. I want to see Disclosure, the new UFO one by Spielberg. I'm really looking forward to it. So we're going to see it at 5:10. There's only 2 showings, one at 5:10 and one at 8:15. And I want to be out, like out of the area and back home before late evening because of what's going on at the moment, which I'm sure you're all aware of. So we had in Belfast, just for context to anyone that doesn't know, Belfast is approximately 40 miles from where we live. It's the capital of Northern Ireland, and there was a knife attack in a nationalist area, and a Sudanese immigrant tried to, they keep saying stabbing, he tried to cut the guy's head off, and apparently the guy was special needs. You know, he wasn't, you can't really say it wasn't all there, but he wasn't the full ticket, shall we say. And obviously people are, I feel like this seat is low down. You didn't lower it by any chance?
No. Just push it backwards and tip the thing.
So we're going to the one in Martinstown.
Yeah.
So obviously the racists are all out in force because this has happened. Now, for context, the reason I say that, because people that are angry at this are angry at people like me for saying racist. I'm angry at it too. I believe the guy that done it should be strung up by the bollocks. I don't believe he should even be allowed to live, personally.
We also want to know what his background is, and was the government aware if he had any previous convictions or issues?
Yeah, when we say
Should he be on the
background,
street?
we mean criminal. We don't mean where's he from. So basically, people are all up in arms about this. Now, in the last couple of years, the court case has just been to court a couple of weeks ago. There was a guy, you've maybe seen him on the news, from Northern Ireland, local white, who murdered his pregnant girlfriend. I would guess because he just didn't want the kid. And he set up like a fake live stream. He was a YouTuber.
Yeah, Doctor Who shit and stuff he did.
He set up a fake live stream to go out as a recording when he was actually, when the thing happened, so that he would be able to say, well, no, I was doing a live broadcast. He wasn't. He recorded one and put it out like it was live, and said that he had technical difficulties, so he couldn't read the comments and stuff like that. So he's just an example as to a man that viciously murdered a pregnant woman, and viciously.
That guy that got released from prison, no one said boo to a goose. He'd beaten his girlfriend for 4 years, and then when she decided to leave him, he stabbed her something like 24 times in the back, 30 times in the front, and slit her throat. Not a peep.
Anyway, normal, you're not going to go into all the cases. The point is, and some people have actually gone back and found attempted beheadings in Northern Ireland. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not like any worse than anywhere else, but if you want to look for it, there are so many examples of violence by men against anybody, but mostly women. So does this mean that we should ban all men? Should we be a society of solely women? Because the only thing that these perpetrators all seem to have in common in my eyes is that they're mostly all male. I say mostly because there's a very occasional situation, but let's be honest, the amount of violence and attacks against women by men is just lately crazy.
There was a 19-year-old female neo-Nazi jailed last month. She tried beheading a guy with an axe. No one was bothered about that. Right,
my point is, for me to suggest that all men should be punished because of the actions of some is obviously completely ridiculous, because not all men are like that. But all immigrants are clearly like that. These guys had nothing to say with somebody walking up the middle of the fucking road. These people had nothing to say when all of these other atrocities were. In Ballymena itself, there was a girl murdered and cut into bits. They won't even publicise exactly what happened because it's too gruesome. So, was there any protests? No. Was there protests about your man with the live stream? No. Was there protests about whoever this woman is with an axe? No. People aren't interested. I don't want individuals. There's so many of them.
That Everard that was killed by the policeman.
Yeah.
Farage said, I hope people don't blame men or the police en masse for this crime.
Well,
but yeah, when it's this way around, it's like every white person should be angry what's going on.
I'm angry, but I'm angry at the individual that did it, and I'm angry at the retards that are out doing what they're doing and getting angry at people for saying they're racist, because bleeding hearts like us are the cause of the problem that's allowing all of this immigration, da-da-da. Now, you're not meant to say what you think about this sort of thing online, because you're just not meant, you're meant to keep your head below the parapet. Fuck it,
Your dad stands on roundabouts.
I don't give a shit. But I believe immigration does need to be more tightly regulated. The reason I feel that is because I feel too many young men are coming in en masse in boats and just using it as a, you know, doing all sorts. There's proof of that. Do I think all immigrants are doing that? Of course I don't. Do I think that immigrants should be allowed to come to other countries to seek a safe haven? Absolutely. Should they get help? Absolutely. But do I think they need to have more stricter regulation of who's coming in and out? Yes. Just to protect everyone involved. Not because we think all immigrants are whatever, but it wouldn't matter who. Right, America won't allow you in if you've got a criminal record. I agree with that.
Same as Australia.
It's like, can we not monitor the people that are coming in so that if they have a history of violent offences, now when I say you can't get into America, generally I mean if you've got a record for something, I don't know, like theft or burglary, you're probably fine. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I do know if you've been convicted of a violent crime, you're not getting in.
You need a special visa.
So why are people being racist for saying that they want more monitoring of who has been up? I completely am in agreement with that. Yes, we should help people. Of course we should help people, but we should also monitor. Should we be letting groups of young criminals in en masse? Absolutely not. I have to go into the shop. I'll continue this when I return. How did that fucking football get on?
It's not, I just put news on to see what's going on. Just gone to news after, so it's gone to sport after news, that's all.
Darren hid this football fixation from me when I first got with him. He lulled me into a false sense of security that he didn't really particularly be fussed about football, apart from keeping his dad company at the football. Fucking obsessed he is. Right, what are you doing? So we've just been and got, show them the size of that bag of crisps.
The one that you named. It's bigger than my head.
Look at the size of that bag of crisps. £1.49. They're half price at the minute. Less than half price apparently. So potato crisps are actually really nice, but the cheese and it's weird. It's like in Ballymena there's a place that's just closed called McGroggin's, and if you go there you have to have the vanilla ice cream because it's so much nicer than all of the other flavours, which just taste like anywhere else. It's gorgeous. Maybe it's a thing because I grew up with it, I don't know, but I love it. But in any other life I am not getting vanilla ice cream apart from there. In any other life I am not picking cheese and onion crisps apart from with its tato. The cheese and onion tato crisps, absolute. There's a fucking renegade. It's done nothing but sun, piss it down. And my head is fucking banging. I've had a couple of tablets before I left, so hopefully it kicks in. So anyway, we're going to see this film tonight. The reason I wanted to get out early is because fucking gobshites talking about rioting. Well, sorry, protesting. What that's going to do to achieve anything is anybody's guess. They basically want to... Last night in Belfast, they set fire to loads of cars and properties with immigrant families inside, including a house with a 2-month-old baby inside that had to be taken out. It's disgusting and it's maddening and it's infuriating, and they take exception to being called racists. You're fucking racists.
Hijacked a tram and set that on fire.
And public transport in Belfast has had to be cancelled. All rail and bus. Has it?
As well, yeah.
I've been keeping my eye on the phone to see if their message didn't come through from Isaac that schools were being closed, because the Education Authority basically left it to the discretion of individual areas because it's different everywhere. But our town's very much divided into two halves, the north and south. The north is predominantly Catholics, the south is predominantly Protestants. And the loyalist Protestant areas, anytime there's a reason to fucking kick off, they kick off. They kicked off with them immigration issues last year because 2 Romanian teenagers attacked a young girl.
It was this time last year.
Yeah, that's what I said last year.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Literally this month last year.
And riots kicked off then.
What the fuck are they
country doing something? Is it, let's protest, we want them all out? Why don't they protest and why don't they want them all out when it's one of their own? When it's a homegrown, white, Northern Irish lad, why do we not protest? That's why it's racist. They don't understand why it's racist. That's why it's racist. So in one hand, I agree with you that we do need tighter regulations and monitoring of people coming in. Of course I do. And I would say that if it was people from Britain going to another country, we do need to regulate who's coming in. But blaming everybody that are leading peaceful lives, contributing to society. I mean, the NHS wouldn't run if it wasn't for fucking immigrants. The care system wouldn't run if it wasn't for immigrants. And I'm not one of these that think, oh, make excuses because they're marginalised. Absolutely not. If that crime that guy did, if they start citing mental health, they might well do, but I'm sorry, he needs removing from the country. It's as simple as that. You should be punished for your actions, and this guy needs to be punished for his actions, but certainly not every single immigrant needs to be, I can say it here, needs to be punished. It makes me angry. There's loads of lying water on this road. Was there anything else to tell you? So that's what's going on right now. I want to get back home because apparently, with this weather, they won't want to stand out and get wet, will they? And I said to Darren, the World Cup starts tomorrow night. I think it's the first match tomorrow evening. They won't want to miss that because these types of people that just like to go to the pub and get pissed of an evening, they'll all want to watch the football. So that'll get in the way of their cause. It's wonderful how the cause doesn't matter if it's inconvenient to their argument or if it's inconvenient to something else that's going on at the time.
The classic statement fact is the riot last year, they claimed to be out protecting women and children, and over half of them that were intended to arrest already had convictions for beating wives and beating girlfriends.
Yeah, that doesn't sound. Do you know how much the policing of that situation in Ballymena alone cost last year? 5.6 million. Setting fire to stuff in the middle of roads, destroying surfaces, destroying businesses, wrecking cars, wrecking buses, wrecking houses. It's disgusting. It's like, what are you showing the world? I'm sorry that I know this is really preachy, guys, and you maybe don't want to hear it, but I can't help it.
What they're taking the country back from?
I've no idea. Somebody could do with taking the country back from them.
Yeah, we've burnt this house out. Yes, we've taken the country back this evening, but we've burnt the house. Okay.
It's like your average decent person that lives in this country would love nothing more, and I used to say this as a child and I haven't changed my mind. I wish they would take all the violent, aggressive Catholics and Protestants in Northern Ireland and just ship them off somewhere to a little uninhabited island and just let them fight it out amongst each other. Just let them kill each other. That's maybe a horrible, really nasty, vile point to have.
I'll tell you another funny one as well with these crew.
Put them in as well.
People should YouTube it as well. I think it might have been on the streets of Manchester. They all decided en masse to start singing the national anthem, but they didn't know the words. So they're all, and then
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Look at that grey hair. Thank God on Monday I'm going to get that sorted out. I'm going to get my hair done, and then I've got one more trip to get my hair done before we go on holiday, so that it's getting the brightener done. I'm getting the roots lifted so that it's brighter.
Any rainbows anywhere?
Not yet. There should be a rainbow. I'm looking at really crappy, horrible grey clouds there, blue sky there, and it's pissing down.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go in and see. I forgot what it's called. Disclosure.
Maybe aliens are watching. They're just going to say, let's just kill them all.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Start again.
What they're looking at.
There is a theory that they did that several thousand years ago. They just said, nah, you're all a bunch of idiots. We're going to wipe you all out.
No, but then they wiped out all the poor dinosaurs and stuff. That wasn't much good.
Well, they wiped out all humanity. That's one of the things.
Right. I will, of course, do a review for the film on my other channel, so if you want to know if it's any good, hopefully I'll remember to update you before the end of the week with what it was like. So yeah, I'll speak to you later. Can we get on the road? Pajamas in the daytime. Oh. There we go. Hello. Yes, we've got even bigger glasses on today. I've had these for ages. I've just never worn them because they are so big. And it's like, these glasses are way too big for my face. But you know what? Fuck it. I like them because they've got like, I don't know if you can, fuck it, you can see the silver bits on the side, and they've got them on the front, and they look a bit like little spikes. That's why I like them. So it is Saturday. I am just heading into, I'm gonna have to plug the car in for charge when I get back. Just heading into town to collect Isaac and his pal Daniel from the cinema. He's going to see Backrooms again. He really enjoyed it first time, so he's been at Daniel's house today, and then they've been to the cinema. Ooh, that guy's coming over the white line. I've just been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows most of the afternoon and watching YouTube. Oh, such a lazy, unproductive day. Reason being, there are protests everywhere, which basically loosely translated as has the potential to become riots. Because of that whole situation that I spoke about, and I don't want to be in the middle of any of it. Oh god, that bus is like kicking out black smoke. Fucking hell. So I'm hoping that things in town are okay, because generally when they start at 7. It's now 20 to 8. Darren dropped them into the cinema at 6. So I'm hoping it should be fine near that area, hopefully. So, is there anything I was gonna... Yes, I haven't told you. Have I told you? I don't think I have. If I have, I'll take it out. So, Isaac comes home from school on Thursday. And he says, is there any painkillers? A door slammed shut on me. The wind blew a door shut on me, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at him and I said, Isaac, I hope somebody hasn't clocked you. No. And then I got this whole intricate story about the really heavy PE doors and a gust of wind and blah, blah, blah. And it was so like detailed. I'm like, right, okay, fair enough. And I gave him the painkillers. And Darren came downstairs 10 minutes later. Apparently somebody punched Isaac at the bus stop. So story basically was Isaac was stood waiting for his mate Callum to get the bus home. This guy, bigger than him, different school, but he was wearing a hoodie over his school uniform, so Isaac doesn't know what school it was. Basically started giving him abuse because of how he looked. Isaac told him to fuck off. And this guy started pushing and shoving Isaac, so Isaac pushed him back. So then this guy lumped Isaac here. He'd got like quite a swollen face. And we've always said to Isaac, never hit anyone first, but if someone hits you, defend yourself. So Isaac cracked him and bust his nose over his face. Now that shocked him, and he was like, oh, and aforementioned gobshite buggered off because Isaac bust his nose, which good for him as far as I'm concerned. So, and he didn't tell me because he didn't want me to worry, and it's like, well, I'm more worried that you're going to lie about stuff rather than tell me the truth. So we thought, right, this lad's going to go home. Jesus, I've just noticed how black the sky is right over my... There's like a... I wonder, can I show you? Look at that line. That explains our weather in one image. White fluffy cloud, blue sky, black. It's blacker than it looks on that. It's going to absolutely pee it down before we get back home. Okay, anyway, I just wanted to show you the sky. So we thought, right, this lad's going to go home. His nose is bust across his face. It's going to give him 2 black eyes. He'll probably say that he was picked on, because that's what you would say to your parents. We know Isaac wouldn't start a fight. If anything, Isaac's too passive. He lets people away with too much. I just hope he did bust his nose and he's not just telling us he did to save face. Anyway, Darren says we're going to have to tell the school just in case anything comes of it, you were in your uniform. So we did. Guess who Darren got on the phone? Mr. Morgan. He's vice principal. He told him. Now, granted, it was absolutely fat. It was disgusting. He says, what? Oh, he did right. He did. What, Isaac? He says, Isaac's not the sort to start trouble. Darren says, no. He says, he's done jiu-jitsu for 10 years. He's a junior black belt. He's what? And Morgan was really fucking shocked. I think he just, as most people assume, someone alternative, long hair, heavy metals, a waster, has never done anything, you know, worthwhile, but I think he was quite impressed that Isaac was a black belt and had cracked this lad. He says he did right, and he says, you know, you should really consider reporting it to the police just in case there's anything comes of it in the future, because that's why we were reporting it, because this lad, we're like, he's going to come back and he's going to come back with mates, because he's not going to appreciate what you've done. So they reported it to the police, who were going to come out. Darren didn't want them out to the house because he didn't want everyone seeing the police at the house, so they went in yesterday to the police station. I will put the tiny bit of footage they took in.
Have a nice day. Look after yourselves, okay?
Cheers.
Thank you. Appreciate
No
it.
problem. Thanks, mate.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
See you later.
Right. Oh, big doors there. Come on. Have a look around. What?
This is a weird building.
It's cool, isn't it?
Don't know if
It's for magic.
that opens very early. Oh, I could run in.
You see, that's where you go if you get arrested.
Oh. What doors have I never seen?
That door's shut now.
Yeah.
It's alright, you're allowed to film it there because it's public office, you see.
It felt so weird.
Enjoy that.
Not particularly. It felt really weird sitting at a table.
Oh, hang on, we'll just point it road. And that's where the big bomb went off. There you go. Your mum will like me saying that.
So yeah, Darren filmed on the way out, basically. And when they were sitting waiting, this Korean couple came in, and I think it was her face was marked and bruised, and she came in and their heads down, and she was sitting, and the husband sort of stood quite far away, and Darren says it was really obvious that something had happened with regards to all this shit going on at the minute. They were Korean. You know, the guy that did this thing was Sudanese, and anyway, don't start me about racists again. I've even got people I'm mates with on Facebook posting about left wing, what way did they put it? Basically, the whole issue is left wing people's fault. The fact that the left wing are calling these people that are doing these things racist is the reason the country's got to this situation in the first place. No answer of the fact that the only time you fucking riot is if it's someone of colour. It's never if it's anyone. Should women not go out and kick off at what is happening at the hands of men? Anyway, don't fucking start. And Darren's like made a point of speaking to them, are you alright, sort of thing, and he said to the guy, sit yourself down, there's plenty of room, blah 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 blah. He says, I may be sat here wearing black, but I'm not one of them idiots, because they've called on all men over the age of 18 to come out wearing black and be prepared to fight. Don't start me. So they were like, oh yeah, you know, I'm buying and all this stuff, and Darren says, you know, they were frightened when they saw him sat there. They were frightened. And it's infuriating that people would feel that way. Anyway, they give the statement, everything's fine, you know, they've said they're looking at maybe checking the CCTV. There's a police officer that specifically deals with school-related incidents and violence. And Isaac didn't like balk. What's the word? B-A-L-K. I don't know how it's pronounced, I've just read it. But like, if you were talking shit and someone says, right, we're going to be checking the CCTV, if you'd been lying, you'd be like, oh shit, you know. And Darren had said to him, if you've been dishonest, because I worried, this is what I thought had happened. because when he got in, there was barely anything on his face, but after about 2 hours, it had swollen up. It was really obvious. And I'm like, I hope he hasn't got off the bus out in where we live, and one of them gobshites, you know, the ones I talk about from our area that are all GAA, that one of them hasn't clocked him and he's lied about it. Because he claims that this all happened while he was waiting on Callum. Callum appeared, they got on the bus, and he never told them what had happened. He just didn't mention it. And to me, two things didn't sit right. One of those things being that had happened and he'd managed to not mention, well actually that doesn't surprise me, why is it, because he never mentions fuck all. But the fact that a lad on his own has approached him, given him shit and like threw a punch at him, I'm like, I could understand if it was a group of lads, even two lads, showboating in front of each other, but one lad, my brain was going, has one of the gobshites from our village clocked him? And we gave him so many, like, Isaac, if this is what has happened, we won't have a go at you, we need to know the truth, we can't go forward and do this if you're not telling the 100% the truth, we'll not have a go. But he was adamant, he was fine when they said they were going to check CCTV, so I'm hoping he's been honest. But anyway, someone did clock him, I just hope he did fucking clock him back. So that's the latest gossip. Hang on, get me down to 40 mile an hour. This car up my arse now. You know what really annoys me? Obviously you all know I'm a fucking speed demon and I got a speeding ticket. I'm not a speed, that was a joke. That was sarcasm, just in case it wasn't obvious. But obviously now I'm being super careful to never go over the speed limit at all. I'm like, my eyes like a fucking hawk on this thing. But see, when you're driving the speed limit, every bugger's up your arse. Nobody is driving at the speed limit. I'm about to go onto the road that I was clocked on doing, I think it was either 34, I think it was 34, it was either 34 or 36. I remember looking at it and thinking, oh, that's like unfair, that's just over, so it was maybe 34. I think they allow you so many percent, you maybe get 2 to 3 mile an hour over, but I was doing 4. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on. Isaac's kung fu fighting. He'd stopped going to jiu-jitsu. He says he wasn't arsed anymore because he'd reached black belt and that's what he wanted to achieve, and he's achieved it. But I'm going to try and get him to go back and say to him, look, you know, it's just as well that you had that reaction that you had and you were able to. I think the lad was surprised at the strength in the punch. Obviously to bust somebody's nose you have to hit him a brave crack. I'm just hoping that he's telling the truth and he fucking did crack him. And it would be more Isaac's personality to let somebody crack him and do nothing about it, if that makes sense. And I'm hoping he didn't. I'm doing 33 mile an hour. Yeah. So today we've done nothing. Next weekend is, as in a week yesterday, is Metallica. So 6 days time is the Metallica gig. It's in Aviva Stadium, which I've never been to, and it's a massive big stadium, and our seats are up in the nosebleeds. But basically it says on the ticket it's not suitable for anyone with vertigo, so I'm shitting myself because I'm scared of heights. But it's the only tickets we could get, and it's like one of those gigs, you know, like bucket list gig. I've always wanted to see Metallica. I'm not saying they're one of my favourite bands. I do really like them. They're just if you're a rock fan, they're just one of those bands you want to see. There's like, they talk about the big four. To be fair, I'm not a big fan of the big four. Like Iron Maiden's an example. I am not a massive Iron Maiden fan, but they're a band that I like a lot of tracks of, and it's one of those things you need to see. If you're a rock fan, you have to see Iron Maiden. If you're a rock fan, you have to see Metallica. So yeah, that's Friday, and then on Sunday, obviously Darren and Isaac and Isaac's mate's going down. But yeah, that's it. Nothing else of any note to tell you. I still have to go through my t-shirts for Vinted, and I just can't get the impetus of the energy. I'm just, TMI if you're male and you're listening to it, probably TMI if you're female and you're listening to this, to be fair, but I'm warning you, TMI, menopause subject about to be discussed. Your periods when you are perimenopausal are a fucking nightmare. I took a pill called Cerazette. I'm now on Cerel because when you get to a certain age they change it to progesterone only or anyway, I don't understand, but anyway, it's something to do with different types of cancer or something when you get older. So I basically went, I don't know how many years, a couple of decades, and I rarely ever had a period because the pill I was on stopped them. It was just a side effect that some people have, and I was one of them. But since they switched me onto this other one, it's been really like sporadic, like you'll get one, then you won't get one for a couple of months, then you'll get one. But in the last 4 months, I wouldn't say what I've had is a full-on period, but I'm like bleeding most days. That I know I'm aware it's TMI, folks, but I'm exhausted because it's like permanently, you know, you get a couple of days, all right, it's gone, oh no, it's back, and it's almost permanent. And I'm just really fucking tired. It's not heavy or anything, it's not like full-on bleeding. If anything, it's like old blood kind of thing. You know, people would more or less say it's like spotting rather than, again, TMI. But I just find it so hard to get the impetus to start like a job that's going to be physical, because you're like, sorting through t-shirts is physical. If you fucking saw how many t-shirts Darren has, and I want to go through the whole wardrobe full of them, then I have to photograph them all and stuff. Yes, it's more than I have the energy for right now. And I did one day of Rock Fit. I even filmed when I did it, and I haven't done one since because the day after I was dying. Just pulling into the cinema, which means I've talked the whole fucking way in. Oh dear God. So much for keeping these short, right? Right, do I want to park there? Yep, I'm going to park there. Somebody's got a sticker in the back of their car that says, I'm just a baby. Right, I don't know if I should perhaps park somewhere else. I might do, because I'm about to sit here and read my book until they appear. But yeah, what was I talking? Yeah, so I'm exhausted. I am exhausted. I just can't wait to be out the other side of menopause at this rate, which I don't know when that's going to be, but I've had it at this point. Right, I shall check in with you guys probably tomorrow to finish off, or to close off the vlog for the week. Yeah, speak to you later. Hello, just putting this on to finish off the vlog for the week. Look at my grey hair. I've just washed my hair this morning in preparation for tomorrow at the hairdresser's. The reason I wash it so early is because when I take this out tonight of this clip, it'll still be damp. I just let it dry itself, so we'll have tidy hair again tomorrow. Nice bright hair, although I'm not getting the proper like lightened up here until August. I'm getting that done just before we go to holiday. I want to get that done maybe once every 4 visits, so not to completely fry my hair. Anyway, nothing of any interest happening. Isaac went to see Backrooms again last night. I
noticed there's more stuff in the background this time.
Did you?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. We're just going into my dad's now. And yeah, Isaac's got 2 weeks left of school, but he won't be going in this Friday because we're going to... Don't mention, Isaac, to people that what you're actually doing on Friday. You know when Stephen's not in school?
Yes.
What does he... I suppose you don't know what his parents have said.
They say sick.
Right, so Isaac's going to be sick on Friday.
The only people that know are other people that are going to Metallica, which is Stephen and Oliver.
Oh, they're not going... Oliver's going to Metallica?
Yeah.
Where's he going?
Both.
No, but is he standing, sitting?
I sitting somewhere.
Alright. So, yeah, but he's going to both and Stephen's just going to the Sunday with you. Right. Hopefully nothing happens because my luck with gigs is terrible. So, yeah, that's Friday.
I was doing more research about it. I'm pretty sure I was wrong. Fade to Black might be that one.
So, I'm a bit nervous because I've never been to the Aviva Stadium before. It's really high up. It says if you've got vertigo, it's not a good idea. So it's going to be, because it's in such a large venue, and I have never been in anything. I went to the RDS to see Bon Jovi on the These Days tours, and it was so far away. There was no atmosphere, so I'm hoping it's not like that.
I looked at the view, like find your seat thing, and the view isn't even that bad.
How's it is? We're like, I think we're row Y, which is the only row behind Y is Z.
It's not that bad.
But we're there at the end of the day. It means we'll have seen Metallica, so that's something. So yeah, you'll have a bit of footage of that next week. But yeah, nothing else of any interest happened. I don't know what the hell Darren's doing. It's past when we're supposed to leave. Oh dear. Right, I shall check up with you guys next week or tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow when I'm getting my hair done.